As teachers, we are becoming more and more inundated by video, by photographs, and by other media through the internet and other sources. The question that we need to ask ourselves is, what can we use legally in our classrooms? The answer to this question lays in the law, specifically copyright law. What this presentation will outline is what copyright law entails and whether or not you can use materials in your classroom that would or would not violate copyright. So before we talk about this, let's discuss briefly why copyright is important. Copyrights were created in order to promote the creation of works so that authors or other creators could not only produce the works but not be afraid that once they shared them with others that others could steal their work. Now, copyright law is one of the most violated laws in our country. However, even if nobody else ever finds out that you violated copyright law, you will know. And it will be inconsistent with your otherwise amazing behavior. So let's just not do it. In addition, there are civil and in extreme cases, criminal liability that could be incurred through copyright violation. So let's just not experience any of that. So let's talk about what a copyright is. And to do that, let's answer the questions, what can you copyright? What are the 3 requirements for those materials to qualify for a copyright? And then what are the owner's exclusive rights? So what can you copyright? You can see some of the pictures here. It includes literature, music, drama, choreography, pictures, movies, sounds, and other mediums. Architecture, for example. It does not include ideas, things that are in the public domain, government property, things like that. 3 requirements for something to qualify for copyright law protection. It must be fixed. In other words, if you take a picture, it's not just you looking at a beautiful scene now, it's fixed in a medium, the film or the digital, the digital domain. It must also be original, and it needs to have minimal creativity. A stick figure would not qualify, in other words. And once it meets these requirements, an owner will have the exclusive right to copy, perform, rent, or create derivative works. In essence, the owner has the right to copy, or the copyright. Now, the question that teachers ask themselves is, all right, so that's copyright, but can I use blank in my classroom? That answer depends on the following. 1, the answer is yes if the creator provides permission for you to use that. 2, the answer is again yes if that item is in the public domain. The answer is it depends if you qualify under fair use to use that item. And again, the answer is it depends if the item you're looking at has a Creative Commons license. So let's go down through public domain, fair use, and Creative Commons. When an item is in the public domain, that means that its copyright has expired and anyone can use it. When an item qualifies for fair use, that means that it has met the following criteria. When you're considering whether an item qualifies for fair use, you need to consider the following 4 criteria. And before you even look at those 4, you need to make certain that what you're looking at has been legally obtained. No bootlegged copies or otherwise illegally or impermissibly obtained items. You need to look at the purpose and character of the use, the nature of the work, the amount that you're sharing, and the effect of your use on the potential market or the value. So the purpose and character of the use, that includes considerations such as whether you're using it for profit or for fun versus for nonprofit educational purposes. So no fun showings of the latest movie hits as a reward for good behavior in class. No, it needs to be nonprofit educational purpose. In addition, you need to look at the nature of the copyrighted work. If this is something that was produced so that teachers would buy it and use it in their classroom, then you are much less likely to qualify under fair use. They were trying to get money out of that academic work, so you need to be careful of that. Third, the amount and substantiality of the portion used. That's referring to whether you show a little bit or a lot, and whether or not you share the heart, the denouement, if you will, of the work, the most crucial portion. And then fourth, we look at the effect of the work upon the potential market or the value of the copyrighted work. For that consideration, just put yourself in the creator's shoes and ask whether or not you would be losing money if that is shared in the way in which the teacher's sharing it. One other consideration to keep in mind is, are you sharing it just with your students, or are you making it publicly available, not only to your students, but to everyone? So for example, if you used a copyrighted image in class for an educational purpose, nonprofit educational purpose, that would be fine, especially if you had a citation to it. However, if you then took that image and went onto your public website and reposted it for your students to look at, it would actually be impermissible, improper, I should say, because that is now redistributed not only to your students, but to the world as a whole. So these are a couple questions that we went over in class, a couple scenarios to see if you understand what was just shared about the 4 prongs. So I hope you enjoyed our riveting class discussion on that, and you're welcome to ask any questions you have before you take the quiz on these scenarios. Now next we have Creative Commons. What is called a Creative Commons license is an alternative to a copyright. It even has a symbol very much like the copyright symbol. What this does is this allows the creators of a work to share their work more openly. But while they share their work more openly, they get to designate exactly what those using it can do with it. So let's go to the website, Creative Commons. And let's look at examples of Creative Commons licenses. So right now we're under licenses and about the licenses. And we're going to scroll down to the bottom and look at a couple samples. We see that there is a little person symbol here. This means that you need to attribute the work that you are sharing to the original creator. You may also see an equal sign. That means no derivative works or no derivs. In other words, you pass the work along unchanged. You'll also see a $sign with a slash through it. That means that you can't use the work commercially or for profit. In addition, you'll see symbols such as this icon that looks a lot like your refresh browser button. That means that you need to share alike. Or in other words, if you received it underneath a particular Creative Commons license, you share it with that same Creative Commons license. So again, you see different combinations of what we just discussed here. And if you'd like to perform a search to look for materials that have a Creative Commons license, you can go to Licenses, find Licensed Content, and you will see a number of options. From Google Images, doing an advanced search through there, or Google as a whole, YouTube, Wikipedia Commons, etc. You could do this in one of 2 ways. You can enter a search query here, like let's say we wanted to find a Creative Commons YouTube video on chemistry. Hit search. That would then do a Creative Commons search for us on YouTube and display the results. You can be much more specific there. So if you have any other questions on copyright, fair use, Creative Commons, please feel free to ask them. And good luck.